you ever wanted to have an epilepsy attack while busting a nut? Well, you're in for a treat. I've got just the hentai for you. Introducing Imouto Paradise. It's summer vacation and Keiichi's parents left him to go on an overseas trip, which means he's all alone with his 5 younger sisters. With their parents out of the picture, his younger sisters are showing their intent of turning their family tree into a family circle. While it's a fairly generic setup they can get in pretty much any doujin, it instantly turns into competition to see how many fetishes the animation studio can fit within 13 minutes. On top of that, they've hired the best in the industry to track the shots. The next hour of your stroke 80% speedrun will be brought to you by these 5 sisters. To help you get acquainted with them, I'll be making a tier list for you. Starting off, we have Aya, who's a fairly generic large-breasted pink-haired airhead whose favourite food is toast. Then we have Rio, a tsundere twin-tails whose personality is so bland that the only fact I remember about them is that they wear glasses. Following that, we have Koharu, the representation of what you think about when you hear the word Imouto, who happens to have a crippling oral fixation. After that, there's Hiyori, Koharu's twin that must have been oxygen-starved at birth to the point where she lacks basic bladder control. And last but not least, we've got Mishka, a genuine autist whose definition of flirting is tying you up.
FBI, open up!
Like any real gamer, our main character wakes up after a night of intense wrestling with his one-eyed snake. The snake of course won and Keiichi passed the fuck out. Keiichi is rudely awoken when Aya barges in, and our main man being the genius he is, he had a bunch of porn mags out. It's not like people have phones or anything.
You guys have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
Keiichi then follows Aya down for breakfast. This hentai doesn't try to give you any semblance of a story, with one of the twins immediately asking Keiichi what masturbation is. You try explaining that to a child without the FBI showing up. After breakfast, we have this wonderful scene of Keiichi watching Aya masturbate, which then jump cuts to you slipping in the $5 footlong in the doorway marked exit only. There's just one slight issue. The hentai doesn't mention that this is a fantasy sequence taking place in Aya's head while she masturbates. This is a recurring problem with this hentai, because every scene has this haze, so you never know if something's actually happening or not. I mean, for all we know, Keiichi could still be jacked up to the Matrix and cooming his life away. Later in the night, while Keiichi's emptying his Greek yogurt factories, Koharu walks in and plain and simple just sexually assaults our protagonist. Not that he seems to be resisting that much, but who the hell just barges into your room and starts sucking your dick? Then we cut to Aya apologising for masturbating to Keiichi, something she didn't need to do, much less specify that he was the one she was flicking the bean to. Obviously this leads to the two going at it like a pair of rabbits. Sometime later, Keiichi goes down to the laundry room where he sees Hiyori, who has accidentally peed herself. But this time, Keiichi showed self-restraint and left his sister alone. Is what I'd like to say, but in reality Keiichi is a bit of a deviant and spanks his sister until she pisses herself again. In the next scene, we see Keiichi asking Rio to show her tits, but as soon as she does, Keiichi does what can only be described as a pro gamer move and fucks her armpits instead. While Keiichi is busy fucking his sister, we, the observant viewer, notice that she has the ability to phase her glasses in and out of existence, which can only mean one thing.
We have found the witch, may we burn her?
Everything we've talked about is just the first out of 2 episodes. It's so jam-packed with sex scenes that they don't even bother with any semblance of a story. 2 characters can go from having a casual conversation to going at it at the drop of a hat. As you might expect, the second episode is just as ridiculous. The animators don't hold back. Now, instead of 80% of the episode being about fucking, it's now 110. We start off with a recap of the first episode, re-traumatizing you with a piss scene. This time, the sisters aren't messing around and can't even go a second without sucking Keiichi's dick. Unsurprisingly, throughout this episode, Keiichi continues providing his sisters with a source of high-quality protein. Murakami, the director of this hentai, is an expert of knowing what people want, giving the viewer almost an entire hour of pure sex in these 2 episodes. But everything is edited and tracked with what I can only assume is a Parkinson-style shaky cam effect, meaning that you'll be needing 2 puke bags, one for the weird piss stuff and the other for motion sickness. That said, if you don't mind the odd fetish here and there, should you nut to Imouto Paradise? Yes.